Welcome back to the deep dive. Today, our mission, it's really to look beyond just the specs. We're doing a deep analysis of a really long-term tech partnership.
That's right. We're talking about HDTV Supply and Shinybow.
Exactly. HDTV Supply, they're listed in our sources as a platinum authorized reseller dealer. And this relationship with Shinybow, it goes back decades.
It really does,
Yeah.
since 2002.
So we want to explore why this very specific supply chain was set up, and more importantly, what does it actually guarantee for you, the buyer, especially when you're dealing with, high-stakes video stuff.
And what's really interesting is the sources show this wasn't just your average distributor deal. It started right at the top, CEO to CEO, way back in 2002.
Why then? What was the driver?
Well, HDTV Supply needed things that are, frankly, hard to lock down in high-end tech. They were after unique products, stuff you couldn't get everywhere.
Okay.
Plus, they needed absolutely flawless support, long-term support.
Yeah.
And maybe the trickiest part, fair and predictable pricing.
Those three things together. That's a tall order.
It is. And Shinybow met those needs. It built a foundation of trust, which, for business buyers, that translates directly into lowering risk. Risk against things becoming obsolete too quickly or getting unreliable parts.
Okay, so let's cut through the jargon a bit.
Yeah.
It's been over 20 years now. When you hear lifetime tech support in an industry like HDMI where standards change constantly, how does that actually work?
Yeah, that's the million-dollar question, isn't it? Doesn't lifetime often mean like 3 years and you're done in the HDMI world?
Right.
Well, this partnership is how they address that. You do get the standard 3-year Shinybow warranty. That's the baseline, the legal bit.
Okay.
But the free HDTV supply, US-based, live telephone lifetime tech support. That's the real long-term insurance policy, if you will.
And how can they promise that? How does it survive product cycles?
It only works because the partnership itself is stable. It ensures they have access to parts, sure, but also deep shared knowledge. It goes way beyond just the current model on the shelf. It's supported by the history these two companies have together.
I see. So it's institutional knowledge almost.
Exactly. Not just a product lifecycle thing.
And the logistics seem pretty deliberate, too. Our sources mention HDTV supplies in California, Shinybow's in Texas.
Right, and that geographical spread isn't an accident. It actually helps them offer longer phone support hours, covering more time zones for customers. It's smart.
It is operational efficiency, but I was also struck by the product integrity part. Everything shipped brand new, unopened, double carton boxes, full value insurance.
Yes, that level of detail, it tells you something, doesn't it?
It tells me their customers can't afford failures. The stakes must be incredibly high.
Precisely. That kind of meticulous shipping speaks volumes about how critical the equipment is wherever it's being deployed.
Which brings us, I suppose, to the specific hardware mentioned. The Shinybow SB-5688Kp, an 8x8 HDMI Matrix.
That's the one. It's clearly a sophisticated piece of kit, but its real niche, what defines its place in the market, comes down to one specific compliance standard.
And here's where it gets really interesting for certain buyers. The SB-5688Kp is TAA compliant.
Yes. And for anyone listening who isn't deep in government procurement, maybe we should explain TAA a bit.
Good idea. What does TAA compliance mean here?
TAA stands for the Trade Agreements Act. It's fundamentally about supply chain security and where a product comes from. It guarantees the product is made or is significantly changed, substantially transformed is the term, either in the U.S. or in a designated friendly country.
So for government buyers or military?
It's non-negotiable. It's
Yep.
proof the supply chain is secure, it's controlled, you know where it came from, and the fact that HDTV Supply offers specific discounts for .gov, .mil, .edu, .org customers.
Right. That shows how central TAA is to their whole strategy with this product.
Absolutely. It's built into the business model.
And technically, this matrix switch sounds pretty robust. Supports 4K 2K resolutions, so high-end UHD, 8 inputs to 8 outputs.
Plus that extra preview output, which is handy for setup and monitoring.
And full EDID management. Maybe quickly define EDID?
Sure. EDID, Extended Display Identification Data. It's basically the digital handshake between your source, like a player or computer, and your display. It tells the source what the display can handle.
And why is managing it important on a matrix switch?
Oh, it's crucial, especially with 4K and multiple outputs. Bad EDID communication is what causes flickering screens, dropouts, or the system defaulting to a lower resolution. This switch has 7 different EDD modes, letting the installer really lock down the signal behavior.
So you can force resolutions, essentially ensure stability across maybe long cable runs or complex setups.
Exactly. It guarantees continuous perfect operation, which is what you need in those high-stakes environments we talked about.
So if we zoom out again, the sources seem to suggest that this whole 2-decade partnership, the support, the logistics, it is the TA compliance, in a way. It's the structure that guarantees it.
I think that's a great way to put it. It's a tightly controlled supply chain built for deep support and meeting these really tough security and origin standards.
So wrapping this up, what's the core takeaway for you, the listener? It seems the sources are showing that when you're dealing with these complex, high-res video systems, systems that just have to work perfectly for years.
Yeah, the integrity of the actual product is almost secondary to the integrity of the partnership behind it. The contract, the support, the trust.
That's where the real value lies.
Which leaves us with a final thought to chew on. When system downtime just isn't an option, maybe in government, military, or even high-end corporate settings, where failure is measured in milliseconds, how essential does that TA compliance actually become? And the guaranteed US-based lifetime tech support? What level of partnership, what depth of trust is really needed to ensure that kind of perfect reliability year after year, especially thinking about systems specified in government contracts, maybe written 5 years before deployment.
Something to consider. That's all for this deep dive.